First of all, it is an honor to have the governor back in Pike County today. We had Congressman Rogers here last week. On behalf of Commissioners Ronnie Robertson, Jason Tackett, and Brian Booth, we'd like to welcome you to this press conference. Before we begin, we have several distinguished guests we'd like to mention. We have Sheriff Rodney Scott, Pike County Jailer Brian Morris. We have Anna Pinson Spears, our Circuit Court Clerk, is here. We have my state senator, State Senator Philip Wheeler, my state representative John Blanton. We have someone I looked over earlier by mistake, and she's going to skim me, State Representative Norma Kirk McCormick. We have Representative Ashley Tackett Lafferty and Representative Angie Hatton. We have Pike District Judge Robert Wright. We have Court of Appeals Judge Larry Thompson. We have a very distinguished gentleman here today, Governor Paul Patton. We have Joe Adkins and Trey Deskins from the Coal Run City Commission. We have Mayor Jimmy Carter and City Manager Philip Ellswick here. I'm not sure if I've overlooked someone. I probably have, and if I have, I apologize. And we want to welcome our good friend Marie Childers here. Marie, good having you here with us today as well. Also, Pike School Superintendent Reed Adkins, who's a good friend to all the members of the court. Mr. Adkins, let me back up. Dr. Adkins, welcome, sir. Congratulations on your doctoral award a few days ago. I'm not going to take much time. I want to introduce the man of the hour. We've had the privilege and honor to have Governor Andy Beshear here today. Governor Beshear has done a lot in Kentucky to fight the prescription drug epidemic. Earlier today, we dedicated the Judy Patton Center for Women and Children at Lookout, and he was here for that. We're honored to have him here, and he has led the fight over the last 18 months against the COVID pandemic. You know, no one wants to come into office and be in office 2 months and have to tackle something that is so politically divisive, that presents such a risk to the public health as this virus does. And I want to just briefly say today, earlier at our court meeting, Tammy Riley, who is the Pike County Public Health Director, confirmed 92 cases that were diagnosed yesterday. That tied the record number of cases in Pike County that we had back on January 7th, I believe it was, earlier this year. Now, it took us from March 1st to January to hit 92 cases in a day. We've done that in the last 3 weeks. We've gone from about 25 or 30 cases a week to having 92 in a day. Easily, if something's not done, we're going to see well over 1,000 cases this month. The sad part of it is, as many of you know, my wife is a physician, and the hospitals are filling up. We heard last week from infectious disease physicians at both PMC and at ARH. Our hospitals are filling up, and I'm sure the governor's going to mention that to you, but I wanted to just bring that up. This is a deadly virus. Yesterday in South Carolina, I saw a news story that said that a 16-year-old student had died in South Carolina. The governor told me today that a 13-year-old, I believe in Mississippi, passed away. This is not something to kid around with. And the Delta variant is spiraling out of control, and vaccination is one way that we can all work together to stop it. I do appreciate everyone being masked today. No one wanted to be back in masks. I've got 3 kids that absolutely didn't want to be back in masks. It was the right thing to do to make sure that our kids don't get sick. So without any further ado, let me introduce our governor, Governor Andy Beshear.
It is great to be back in Pike County and in Pikeville. You know, we were here not that long ago, and we brought some money. We had so much fun, I thought we ought to do it again. It has been a great half day. You know, we had our weekly, well, we now do it twice a week, Delta variant update this morning. But being able to get out for the dedication of Judy's Place, of fighting for women suffering from addiction, ensuring that they have top-of-the-line services right here in Pike County, and then seeing some of the new businesses that are operating, some of the businesses of the future right here in Pikeville, and just getting that reminder of how beautiful this downtown is. I mean, the work that you all have all done, and I know it has taken planning and it's taken execution, is just incredible, and you ought to be so proud of what people, when they come to Pikeville, see in this downtown and in this county. As governor, I'm committed to ensuring that we can meet the future. And let me tell you that while we've got to get through this Delta variant, I think that our future is bright. In fact, I think that there may be more possibilities in front of us than anyone ever thought was possible, and that we have a chance to see prosperity reach all parts of Kentucky, including far too many parts of Kentucky that have been left behind or that have felt forgotten. To do that, we got to be ready. We've got to have the infrastructure, the roads, the bridges, the water, the natural gas that it takes to make sure that that next great opportunity for this county and this region is something that we can not only compete for, but to win. So I'm committed to improving our most outdated roads and bridges, our airports, our broadband, ensuring that everybody has internet access, our drinking water, and our sewer systems. Clean drinking water is a basic human right. Every Kentuckian, every American deserves it. And we all know, without a functioning sewer system, that next economic development opportunity is just harder to grasp. These are the types of infrastructure and investments that create jobs, not just in the work, but in the aftermath and what they bring. And it's the kind of infrastructure that keep our families safe. We think a whole lot about COVID and safety right now, and we should. We think a whole lot about this drug epidemic and our kids' safety, and we should. But we also lose far too many Kentuckians on our roads, especially our rural roads. And just like every other parent here, I put my kids in that car and send them off to the place they're going or in there myself. These are all things that we can do to increase the safety of our families. I feel like this administration has already made great progress working with this General Assembly. A few weeks ago, we announced that Kentucky has now exceeded over $1 billion in transportation construction contracts since January 2020, a significant growth in what we were seeing just several years before. And today, I want to highlight a very important transportation infrastructure project right here in Pike County. Today, I brought with me $367,650 for Pike County road resurfacing. And we'll present that in a minute. Thank you, Jerry. You do that well. Nah. Jerry Ravenscraft is a great part of this administration, a great businessman, has given a lot to Eastern Kentucky. I appreciate having your wisdom and your help in this journey. So what this is going to do is it's going to resurface two important routes in the northern part of Pike County. Upon completion, the county will resurface 5.1 miles of the right fork of Brushy Creek and 1.9 miles of Rockhouse Force of Big Creek, which both are in desperate need of repair. These routes are important and will better serve the more than 100 Pike Countyans and two businesses, and will better connect folks to Route 881. The funding, it's administered by the Department for Rural and Municipal Aid in the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. My administration's mission is to make sure that each of you have the infrastructure you deserve, that your kids and your grandkids are safe on it, that it gives you the opportunity for growth, and you never look at the repair on it and think that you are left out. The mission isn't limited to interstates and parkways, which we hear so much about. We talk about really big bridge projects, which we're going to be able to do with a little help from the federal government. But it's also our county roads, our city streets that lead to your front door, to your school or to your places of worship. Local streets and roads are vitally important to our way of life and to the people that use them. And I'm happy that we're able to provide that funding. So with that, I'd love Judge and anybody else, the court, to present you with this check for $367,650. Why don't we step up? This award is just the latest that we've been able to make here in Pike County. On one of my first trips as governor, we were able to award $500,000 from the Appalachian Regional Commission to support Project Heart at the Pikeville Medical Center. And I'm proud of how that center is growing. When we were here for the dedication of the new autism center, just watching that video of parents saying that they were told that the best thing they could do for their child's health was to move, that's wrong. It ain't right. And those projects and the ones we can work on here will make sure that parents never hear that, either for the health of their children or their future employment. Making sure everybody has the opportunity to grow up, and if they choose to live, to work, to be healthy in their own community. We've been to Pike County several times recognizing you for your hard work. Earlier this summer, we're here to announce I'd recommended 3-year projects to the Appalachian Regional Commission totaling nearly $1.2 million. And we've got a pretty good track record when it comes to that. So today, I'm happy to announce that ARC has approved the applications for the Maynard Fork Water Supply Project, the Lavisa Fork Basin Flood Protection Project, and the wastewater collection improvements in Elkhorn City. So that means... So we heard, and in putting together an incredible grant application, what a huge difference this is going to make for the lives of people right here. And it doesn't stop there. We are committed to building a stronger Pike County, a better Eastern Kentucky with every decision we make. I want to make sure you never feel forgotten in this administration, and that you know each and every day we're working to make sure that we can build up Eastern Kentucky and bring it to a newer, brighter future. I hope you see that based on our track record. And I hope you know that because Rocky Adkins sits 2 doors down from me. So, Rocky, thank you for all your service to this administration. I got to tell you, there's probably some people who question this partnership, who said, wait a minute, y'all worked really hard against each other in a campaign, but we never called each other names. We never questioned each other's integrity. He is one of the most important people in this administration, and nobody works harder. He shows up every morning with the biggest McDonald's cup of coffee I've ever seen. And he stays until he gets the job done. We developed an incredible friendship, and I think Kentucky is better off for this partnership, and I know Eastern Kentucky is better off for it. All these improvements that we're fighting for, they're going to build on progress we're seeing right now. I mean, we are seeing Kentucky with a possibility and a potential for economic development the likes of which we have only dreamed about. It's the types of jobs, from new electric vehicle jobs in Whitley County, an extra 250. From everything you're seeing in agriculture technology with now 5 different projects from App Harvest, 1 from Fresh Harvest, Appalachia in Martin County. Types of jobs that we know that are going to be here 20 or 30 years from now. And if you think that what we have seen over those couple of months are exciting, I'm here to say you ain't seen nothing yet. We've got 7 different potential projects in Kentucky that would be over $1 billion in investment apiece. We've got at least 3 that would be the single largest investment, if they hit, that we have ever seen. So our future, again, has an opportunity to be bright. We've already created more new jobs this year, 5,500, than all of last year. And we are proving that we can do it all across Kentucky. You saw it with the App Harvest opening. We believe that's the 10th largest building in the world, and it is in eastern Kentucky. We saw just 2.5 weeks ago the single largest project in 25 years in western Kentucky, where we're building the cleanest, greenest, most technologically advanced recycled paper mill that the world has ever seen. And that type of possibility has got to reach right here in Pike County. Folks, I believe we can make it happen. But to do so, we've got to do what we've had to do over these past 18 months. It's not be red or blue, not be Democrat or Republican, but realize the future of our people is much more important than anything we would otherwise argue about. It's taken some of that goodness that we have used to protect each other during COVID and making sure we pay it forward. Because I will tell you, a lot of these companies have seen what we've been willing to do together, and they want to be a part of something that special. We've seen some of the biggest rating agencies who typically, Judge and the court, you all know, give us bad news, make it more difficult to borrow and to do projects, that are now saying things about Kentucky that we're not seeing in other places. Fitch's came out and said we're recovering faster than others from this pandemic. Moody's came out and said we're recovering with gusto. That means that we have momentum, with already doing more this year, just by the beginning of August, than we saw all of last year. But there is a real threat out there for the education of our kids, to the lives of our people, and to this, I think, once-in-a-lifetime chance at economic prosperity all across Kentucky, and that's the Delta variant. I know, like you, I wanted to be done with this whole thing. I wanted for us to finally be finished. I was so excited when we could take that mask off, and I was so excited at how many people, especially early on, were getting vaccinated. But this Delta variant is now the scariest part of COVID that we have faced. In just a matter of a month and a half, we've gone from the lowest levels of COVID since before last summer to, by the end of the week, we will have more people in the hospital, hospitalized fighting COVID, than we have at any point during this journey. We'll have more people in the ICU, we think, by the end of the week or mid next week than we have had at any point during this journey. And we are very much at risk within the next week and a half of having every single staffed hospital bed and ICU full across the state. But we need everybody's help. We need the strength that we have seen in the local leadership here. We really need everybody to get vaccinated. And we've called on different people for help at different points in it. But now we're asking for everybody's help, because we're at that point where we need people to have difficult conversations with the people they love. You know, they tell us at Thanksgiving dinner never to talk about certain things. And I'm sure that's how a lot of people feel about talking about vaccines to other people. But your unvaccinated friend or family member has never been at more risk than they are right now of getting really sick, or if they get sick, not having the same care that people have had throughout this pandemic. So I'm asking you, please, have that tough conversation. It's worth them being mad at you if it means that they are here with us next year and the year after. We have enough vaccines in this state and that we can order where we can defeat this thing tomorrow. We just need the will to do it. And until we're to that point, mask up, protect one another. Even when you're vaccinated right now, it looks like you can spread this thing, and we just have to get through this big Delta variant push. I've got 2 kids. One is 12, now fully vaccinated, and one's 11. And I worry about her and everybody else that's out there that hasn't had the opportunity yet to get that shot. So please, talk to your friends and family members. I want to thank the people of Pike County for everything they have done in this pandemic. You all have worked so hard for one another. I want to thank the fiscal court and everybody else that's working each and every day to push this county forward. I want to thank the General Assembly for all of us working together at the end of the last session to put almost $1 billion into infrastructure here and across the Commonwealth. You know, that was a heck of a statement, that we can not only work together, but that we agreed that everybody needs access to the internet, that everybody deserves clean drinking water, and that these types of infrastructure investments ultimately will pay off year after year after year. That was an exciting time at the end of that session. And my hope is we'll see a lot more of it, as we'll have at least $1.1 billion in American Rescue Plan Act funds to allocate in this next session, and potentially a whole lot more in transportation dollars. We in this administration are going to continue to fight for you. This county and its people are a critical part of Kentucky. We're going to make sure that we all see this prosperity together, and we're going to make sure that we get through this virus and we get through it together. Thank you all very much.
We have a few other folks that we need to recognize. We have Roland Case, Administrative Law Judge. I don't know if I mentioned County Attorney Kevin Keene earlier. We have several members of our legislative delegation here. At this time, I would like to ask State Senator Philip Wheeler, 31st District, representing Pike, Martin, Lawrence, Elliott, and Morgan counties, if he would come up.
Thank you, Judge, and thank you, Governor. It's an honor to be with you all here today. I'm very proud to be an Eastern Kentuckian standing here in my hometown talking about infrastructure. It's one thing, as the judge and the governor stated, that in a bipartisan way that we can agree on. We want the Mountain Parkway and 460 and roads like that to become ways into Eastern Kentucky rather than ways out. They are the building blocks for strong jobs and a healthy economy, something that in the last few years we've really struggled with the downturn of the coal industry. We've been able to work with this administration to do great things in the last couple of cycles, including the new 460 bridge at Beaver. That project for many years was spearheaded by Judge Jones as my predecessor, and we've been moving that forward to completion. And I think that once that opens up, it's really going to create a lot of economic opportunities in tourism, to see the Breaks Interstate Park, which is really one of the eastern United States' great natural wonders. The other thing that I was pleased to work with members in the House as well as the administration last session on was what started out as Senate Bill 75, which was for ATV tourism. That's something that the fiscal court and I have worked on for over 2 years. It came together at the end, and the governor's office and people were with us all the way on that. The fiscal court has made some great strides in that area through the development of the Pike County Trail Authority and working with the Kentucky Mountain Regional Recreation Authority. And I think there's going to be great things coming with recreational tourism in Eastern Kentucky. I would also be remiss if I didn't join my colleagues here saying that, you know, do the right thing, get vaccinated for your friends and your family. My wife and I both took the vaccine. We have a friend over in Pikeville Medical Center, 35 years old right now, that may not make it, that didn't take it. And he has 3 children. I would ask you to pray for his family. His name's Sean Blackburn. But, you know, do it for your friends, do it for your family. This is something that's real. And I think the development of the COVID vaccine through Operation Warp Speed and the subsequent distribution is really probably one of the great medical miracles in the United States history, developing an effective vaccine inside of a year. Take advantage of that. We really live in one of the most wonderful times as far as public health is concerned. We don't have to be worried about many of the great diseases of the past, like polio, like smallpox, and many of that's thanks to modern vaccine technology. So I would encourage you to do what you can to protect your families. We're still not through this hump, but you know, I do believe that we are, with modern technology, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. So it's a pleasure to be with everybody here today. I want to thank the governor for his generous donation to our county roads, and the mayor and the judge and the commission for all their hard work. They really do work hard for our town and for Pike County. So thank you very much.
At this time, I'd like to ask Representative Norma Kurt McCormick if she would come up.
We all know how important safe roads are to our region. They open our area to all kinds of opportunities and make healthcare, education, employment, and entertainment more accessible. I'm pleased to see the governor award discretionary funding to Pike County After all, every dollar spent on roads and infrastructure is an investment into our communities. I cannot wait to see new opportunities for tourism and economic development in eastern Kentucky as a result of this transportation funding. And I will say, I cover half of Pike County, and Governor, we need more.
That was well said, and I agree. At this time, I'd like to ask my state representative, John Blanton, if he would come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Governor, for being here today. What an honor it is to serve part of Pike County, and I do have a portion of Pike County. We're really appreciative of the governor bringing these funds here today, and every time he shows up, you're always welcome with a check, Governor. We love that. But all joking aside, folks, Governor Beshear's administration has been very open to me, very helpful to me anytime that I've ever asked. And I appreciate that, for one. Rocky has always been there to answer my calls. I don't want to aggravate you all the time, so I aggravate Rocky. But we appreciate the funding. It does help. We do need more, and we are working on plans to be able to increase funding for Pike County. We're watching very closely the infrastructure bill that's currently working its way through Washington, because what you don't hear a lot about, there is some specifics in that for our Appalachian region, our rural areas, that will be beneficial. We were thankful to hear that they're including that, because, as Senator Wheeler said, we want to build infrastructure to bring people here, not for them to leave here. And I would be remiss if I didn't say this as well. I want the people of Pike County that may be watching to know that you have 4 state representatives and a senator, and we come from both sides of the aisle. But you can rest assured that we work together as one unit when it comes to taking care of Pike County. This past year, we come together collectively, even though it wasn't in some of our districts, and said, yeah, we want to support the bridge at 460 because it's the right thing for Pike County. And that's just one example of many that we work together collectively. And so I appreciate them, and I just want the citizens of Pike County to know that you've got a delegation down there that is looking out for Pike County. And I know we were only supposed to go 2 minutes, but I want to get this in too. I've got some pastor in me, you got to remember, Governor. To follow up on what Senator Wheeler said, this thing's real. None of us in our lifetime have ever witnessed what we're seeing today occur in our country. Not only with COVID, but let's be very frank about it, with the divisiveness. And there's no need for it, folks. We need to look at the things we share in common with one another and build on those things. It's easy to criticize somebody. Anybody can do that. But if you walked in their shoes, I've been vaccinated, my wife's been vaccinated, my children's been vaccinated. I encourage each and every one that is eligible to be vaccinated. And if you don't trust us, quit paying attention to social media. I really wish we could outlaw social media in this country. I'm not asking you to trust me. What I want you to do is go to your doctor, your family physicians, somebody you got confidence in if you're questioning whether or not this is right for you. If you don't want to listen to someone like us, go to somebody you have confidence in. Sit down and talk to them. Weigh out the options. Weigh out the pluses and minuses. And I can tell you, any medicine you're taking, and most of us are all probably taking something, everything has a side effect. But we weigh out the options with our doctor. And there's no difference here. I nearly lost my mother last fall with COVID. So I know firsthand, my father-in-law, it's ran deep in our families. But we weighed out the option and we said, yes, the vaccine was what's right for us. And I would encourage you, I'm not mandating you to, I'm not requiring you to, none of us are up here. But we're recommending it to you. We're recommending this the best course of action that you could take for your safety and other safety around you. So people say, well, I only hear that from one side. Well, today you've heard it from at least 2 from the other side of the aisle. Okay, we're all in this together. Thank you, and thank you, Governor, for being here.
This time, I would like to ask a lady who serves in Democratic leadership in the House, Representative Angie Hatton.
Well, this has been a heartwarming day. We first, most of us here met over at the Judy Patton Center for Women and Children to open a new, much-needed rehabilitation facility. And now we're meeting here today to get a much-deserved, a much-needed, great big check. I don't know why Ronnie Robertson gets to hold it, but he'll take good care of it. All right, that's a good point. But so what you're hearing from us today does not have to be unusual for politicians. You know, Pike County's divided 4 ways as far as the way its districts go. Two Democrats and 2 Republicans represent Pike County, but there has never been a time since I've been serving, which is almost 6 years now, that a project was needed in one of our districts that we didn't all jump in and support. And when it comes to advocating for mountain people, when we get down to Frankfort, it's us against the world. And we always remember that in my district there's about 40,000 people that are counting on me to be their voice, and it's never far from my mind that help is very much needed. I'm very happy to see these projects going. Every time we hand out a check, we start getting calls and social media posts from everybody letting us know that they need one in their area too, and we hear you and we're listening. And I'm very glad that we have a governor who's listening, whose door is open to us. Rocky Adkins has given his cell phone out to way too many people. I hope he didn't regret it too bad, and our governor listens, and we're glad to have him down here today. And as far as the vaccine goes, guys, listen to your doctor. Listen to people who care about you in your community, who have the medical training to inform you about what's best for your family. And please, please consider getting vaccinated. My dad had a friend pass away this week. His wife is in the hospital. Their daughter's about my age. His wife has COVID too. He just died from COVID. And now their daughter, who's about my age, faces losing both her parents this week. I pray that her mother gets better. We have a 2-year-old in Letcher County that's been hospitalized with COVID this week. It's very serious. Please take it seriously. I hope that you notice, if you're watching, that it's not just one party up here begging you, and we don't have an ulterior motive. It's just safety of Kentuckians. And the love that I felt today and both of the events we've been to carries out to all of you, and your representatives care about you, and we're asking you to please take care of yourselves and each other.
Thank you, Angie. That was well stated. I have to go to a visitation tonight at a local funeral home for a brother of a friend of mine who passed away from COVID at age 46. And this is really hitting our community, Governor, a lot harder than we had ever expected, particularly from what we saw in the first round. At this time, I would like to ask Representative Ashley Tackett Lafferty if she would come up.
Well, I know it's been a very long day, so I'll definitely try to keep this brief, but I want to take this opportunity to thank so many people who are working so hard to make Eastern Kentucky a better place to work and live and raise our children. To my colleagues in the General Assembly, Representative Hatton, Blanton, Kirk McCormick, Senator Wheeler, we have all worked so hard to bring better infrastructure back to Eastern Kentucky. And I'm certain that you will join me in recognizing that Judge Jones, Commissioner Ronnie Robertson, Jason Tackett, Brian Booth, and other local officials have worked so hard to bring you better roads, better water, and better infrastructure. These folks take calls, they make calls, they return calls, and they invest a lot of time in trying to make the community where we live a better place. And for that investment, I want to say thank you. Next, to the governor and Rocky, who I consider true friends of Eastern Kentucky. I want to thank you once again for yet another trip that you've made to our little corner of Kentucky. We appreciate when you visit. You will always be welcome, and we always will welcome the information that you bring us and the funding that you bring us to help further the things that we need here in Eastern Kentucky. And for that investment, I appreciate everything you do. And I know everyone up here appreciates it. Now is the time to invest in Eastern Kentucky. Now is the time for better roads and better water. Recently, the Transportation Committee hosted a meeting at CVG Airport in northern Kentucky. And there, the investors were asked, why did you choose northern Kentucky over Cincinnati, Ohio? And the answer was surprisingly simple. The answer was quality roads and quality water infrastructure. Folks, good roads and good water cause economic development in areas, and it causes businesses to invest. We need quality roads and quality water infrastructure to be invested in, and today I'm happy to say that whether it's repairing the road on the right fork of Beshear or bringing water to the folks over on Maynard Fork, whether it's finishing the bridge on 460 or completing the expansion of the Mountain Parkway through Prestonsburg. These are the type of investments that we need to make Eastern Kentucky a better place to work, live, and raise our children. Thank you.
We have just a couple, the governor's running a little bit on a tight time line, but I do want to just say a couple things. We got a couple more people I want to bring up briefly. Since Andy Beshear has been governor in a little more than a year and a half, he has brought back to Pike County in discretionary monies and ARC grants for water projects and roads of almost $2.5 million. And there was a time when local officials here didn't really seek out those types of grants. I just want to summarize what we've done to try to maximize our resources. We have worked with Congressman Rogers on the Coal Run flood project, the flood wall that could be a $110, $120 million project. We've got representatives from Coal Run Village. That's about $17 million in federal funds have already been committed to that. We've worked with our legislature, and we want to thank all the members of our legislative delegation for the money for water and sewer infrastructure. We're going to get about $2.5 million out of that, Governor. And the mayor and I, and also Mayor Mike Taylor in Elkhorn City, we've got some projects in Kentucky Infrastructure Authority that we've agreed to how we can divide that $2.5 million, but we've got some other money that we're asking out of the unmet needs or unserved areas pool. But this administration has listened. We also were able to work with our state and federal partners to get a $1.8 million grant from the Economic Development Administration to help get the infrastructure started in the Wolf Pit industrial site. Those are some of the things we're doing to try to make sure that we're meeting the needs of the people. And I want to thank Sharon Hall and Eric Ratliff, our two grant writers. They have worked so diligently to make sure that we're looking for every source of revenue for projects here in Pike County. Now, the person that held the job, as I will say, may be the toughest job in the country. That is the county judge executive. I think Governor Patton would tell you that it may be even harder than being governor. But I would like to ask the 59th governor of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, Governor Paul Patton, if he will come up and say a few words.
Now, everybody that came here to hear me speak, stand up. But, Governor, we're here to thank you for what you and your administration has done for this county. And a lot of it's already been mentioned. But I want to thank you for the way you've done this job. I had challenges. Your father had challenges. But we didn't have life and death challenges. And that's what you're dealing with. I know I don't like these things. No, they're aggravating. But you said it today at Lookout. if wearing these masks saves one life in Kentucky, it's worth it. Well, Governor, it saved it has saved a lot more than one lives, dozens of lives, hundreds of lives. And it takes courage. I know the pressure you're under. But when you do what's right, you can sleep at night. And I think you probably sleep pretty good.
Yes, sir.
This time I'd like to ask Pikeville Mayor Jimmy Carter if he'd come up and say a few words.
Well, thank you, Judge. I really wasn't expecting the governor. Thank you. Like you said, you're always welcome to bring a check. And I told City Manager Philip Ellswick at our meeting last Monday, I said, next time the governor comes in town, we need a check. So we'll be calling you for something, I guarantee it. But I just wanted to say something real quick, and we're talking about how the county and the city used to not get along very well. And I'll be honest with you. My father-in-law was county judge executive when I was mayor, so it's tough. It's tough. But now we do get along a lot better, and we just received a grant for something a lot of people don't realize to help with the Breaks Interstate Park, and we're going to be partnering with the Breaks, especially when the new 460 bridge gets in. When they can come to Pikeville, we're going to talk about running buses back and forth to where they can come to Pikeville. We can send people from Pikeville that might want to go to the Breaks for the day and do something, and have that transportation going back and forth. That's just one of the many things that's going to happen with this grant that we just received. So we are working together, and we will continue to work together, and we will continue to work better when we have more funding to do some of the jobs and things that we need to do. So thank you so much. Appreciate it, Governor.
So to conclude this, I would like to ask someone to come up, someone that needs no introduction, someone that steered me in the right path when I was first elected to the state senate in 2000. I looked at him, up to him as a big brother, and he probably kept me from making mistakes and getting in trouble. But somebody that we all know, we all love here in Eastern Kentucky, and that's Representative Rocky Adkins.
Well, I don't know what's left to be said, very honestly, but Governor, I'd just like to tell the people of Pike County that we've had another great day in Pike County, and we appreciate the opportunity to be here with all of you. Governor Patton, thank you for your service to this great Commonwealth of Kentucky, your leadership and the initiatives that you supported. I'll just make one, higher education reform. That is really in a place right now to take advantage of emerging economies that we see coming forward in Kentucky. To your mayor, we've worked together for a long time, Jimmy. You know, you copied off me at Morehead State University. You'd have never graduated. Go ahead and admit it right now. To Ray Jones, Ray and I serving together, he in the Senate, me in the House, and having the opportunity to get to know him as a person. And I don't think I have to tell you all, I'm just not from Eastern Kentucky. I live in Eastern Kentucky. And I love our region so much. So Ray, it's been an honor to work with you, to your fiscal court, your commissioners, the vision that you all have both at the city and the county level, to give us a roadmap, a game plan to work from, and have an opportunity to fund the very things that we're here funding today and talking about, and the other projects that we've funded. My 33 years in the Kentucky House and the relationship that I've been able to develop with these House and Senate members, and the opportunity to still work with you in the role that I'm in as the governor's senior advisor, is a great honor for me. And the working relationship that we have as a House and a Senate, not looking at red or blue or Democrat or Republican, but trying to get it done for our region. And we're working so hard to try to make that happen. You know, we've talked a lot about the ingredients that it takes and the synergy that it takes to build a region after the downturn of the coal economy. While we still support the energy sector, folks, we all must admit we've got to diversify the economy of our region to bring hope and opportunity back to our people. And you know why I can say that, don't you? You know why I can say that. 30 years of my life, Governor Patton, was spent making my living in the coal industry. I walked out the door with 1,700 people one day. I've tasted it, I've felt it. And it's our turn here in our region to rebuild an economy, to diversify and build an economy of the future. And we're headed that way. So to my colleagues in the House and the Senate, we have an opportunity of a lifetime. To the local elected officials and to community leaders here in this audience, we have the opportunity of a lifetime to change the direction and take advantage of the changing economy, the new economy here in our region. We're building the infrastructure. We've invested millions over the last 30 years and continue to invest. The working relationship to put together almost $1 billion in water and sewer and broadband, new schools, vocational schools, and all of those things that matter and make a difference. To invest, read, in education, to lift up our children, to highly educate and train them to compete in this new economy. We have that opportunity before us. And as a former member of the House, talking to my legislators from my region, let's not let anything get in our path to keep that from happening. An infrastructure bill that's getting ready to pass, money that's left that wasn't spent in the last session, a governor who managed a budget during a pandemic and ended the fiscal year with a $1.1 billion general fund surplus, I believe deserves a round of applause for that kind of management. For taking the American Rescue Act money and investing a little over $1 billion and having another $1 billion to be able to go back and do some of the very same things that we've just got through talking about here tonight. And then to have an infrastructure bill at the federal level to not only build roads and bridges, but broadband and water and sewer and workforce development and all of those other things. We have the chance of a lifetime. Yes, to finish the Mountain Parkway, to finish 460, to announce projects like Minnie to Harold, to make those kind of investments that we're making in our region. Governor Patton, is so exciting to me. It's what we've worked for so very long. And for me to have an opportunity to work with a governor who gets it, a governor who has a vision of what we need to do to rebuild regions of this state who have lost thousands of jobs, and to lift it up and bring hope and opportunity back again, whether it be agri-tech or aerospace, whether it be in the field of electrification of vehicles. You know why we can do it in eastern Kentucky? Because we have the most talented and greatest workforce, not only in America, but around the world. And I believe in us. And I believe in the leadership of this governor. I enjoy every day going in that office. And the governor said it very true. You better believe it. I did everything I could do in that primary to beat him. I gave it all I had. But there's one thing I didn't do. I didn't get in the mud. And he didn't either. We talked about the issues of Kentucky and how to build a better Kentucky. Here's our opportunity to bring that hope back to our people, to bring that diversification that our people need and deserve. We've earned it. Let's take advantage of it, and let's make it happen. This governor every day comes in and talks about how we build this better future, this better economy, this economy of the future. And he looks to our region and says, we're going to spread the prosperity across this great commonwealth. And we're going to spread it to regions of this commonwealth that need help the most and have seen that job loss that has taken place. So I'm honored to walk in that office every day as we work hard with members and people in this room and across Kentucky. And as we bring that hope and opportunity, Judge and Mayor, and folks sitting in this room and people listening across this region, it's our turn. It's our turn. Let's give it all we've got to make it happen. I'm honored to serve and work with a guy who has a backbone, who will not waver, who has courage, and is willing to provide the leadership that this great Commonwealth needs. And Governor Patton, you said it right, in a time that nobody else has faced, a struggle that nobody else has faced, with over 7,000 of our people in Kentucky who have lost their life to COVID. And we're still not through this. But a backbone, certainty, leadership, and courage. Good to be in this locker room once again. Folks, I'm fired up, and I'm ready to go. Let's make it happen. Thank you all for having me.
Thank you all for coming.